Hey everybody, this is going to be my MMA video, and then after that I'm doing a wrestling video, so just talk about what's been going on as of late. Well, everybody knows by now, Tito has signed back with the UFC, which is a cool thing. We'll see what happens, these last few fights, obviously, he's not looked like the Tito Ortiz of old, but then again, he hasn't looked too bad because if you think about it, he fought Rashad Evans and really he did win the fight. If it wasn't for the fact that his conditioning due to his back was bad, he probably would have had a better chance of winning far more convincingly. And also taking into account that he grabbed the fence in the fight so many times, so he got deducted points. So that worked against him. And against Machida, let's be honest with you, if you think about everyone who's fought Machida, no one has been able to get one mark on him. And Ortiz did catch him in a hold. And Machida himself said if he had kept him in that triangle, he would have just tapped. So, I mean, Ortiz has still got some steam left in him. It's a shame he didn't go to strikeforce in the end, which I think is actually quite a big blow for strikeforce not getting him. So he's going to go back to UFC. He's saying his back's 100%. He's had his surgery. He's had time to rehabilitate his back, and it's rumored he's going to fight Mark Coleman, which would be an interesting fight to watch because they're both at similar points in their career. They both really got something to prove right now at this stage in the game. Uh, yeah, I mean that's cool news. It's a shame Strikeforce didn't get him. They signed Fedor, and Fedor didn't sign with the UFC. I am kind of disappointed in that because, how can I put it? The biggest fight, I think, two of the biggest fights going right now for him would be against Brock Lesnar and against Couture. And to be honest with you, I think in the Lesnar fight, there's no guarantee that he could win that fight. Bill and Doug RVD Tito for life, for anybody who's heard of them, made this good point, and this is something I thought about too. Fedor hasn't had to deal with wrestling like in Pride as much as people would say. And if Matt Linland could take Fedor down, which he did, and Kevin Randleman, who was 5'10", my height, was able to slam him, then look at Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's interesting. I think Brock could give him some difficulties there. And if he fought Couture, if Couture executed the right strategy, he could give him a good challenge. But I think with Lesnar, there's a lot more potential to do some serious harm there. And I still think it would be one of the biggest fights ever to watch, and just from so many angles. But he chose not to sign with the UFC because of the co-promoting aspect, which, again, it's a shame. I really wonder if the co-promoting really was the spanner in the works. And now Strikeforce have got him and doing the co-promoting. I don't know if that's the wisest thing to do, given the money that they have, and they're still a relatively small organization. So, but on the other hand, it opens up doors to do a partnership with Dream and some other fighters to help pump up the cards a bit. But on the same thing, Fedor is not the big monster draw that people think he is, and I mean, getting people to it. I mean, with the MMA diehards, we all know who he is, but I mean, the casual fan and drawing in the casual fan, Fedor at this point won't be able to do it. And I think if he had gone to the UFC, that would have strengthened his drawing power, and I think there was more potential to make more money there anyway. Strikeforce, I think they should have made a harder sell to get Tito in because he's a draw. The fact of the matter is, his name draws. He's like the Hulk Hogan or Steve Austin of MMA. You put him on a card, and people will pay to see it. He just does something to the card, and same thing with a Couture or Chuck Liddell. And it's a real shame that they didn't get him because he really was the hottest free agent out there. Strikeforce card coming up very soon. Carano versus Cyborg. I think Cyborg might actually beat Carano. Cyborg fights like a man, and I don't mean that in a joking way. She really does. She's pretty ruthless, but her conditioning has always come into question. We'll see what happens. The longer the fight goes, I think it's in Gina's favour, but this is a fight I'm amped to see. You never know what could happen, and I think we could create a star here in this fight. Kenny Florian, I did watch the fight, UFC 101. Um, Anderson Silva is amazing. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, he made Forrest Griffin look like that. That's incredible. I mean, yeah. Sometimes you forget how truly good Anderson is based on the fights with Cote and Taylor's Lettuce, where he just kind of danced around and just didn't engage in the striking as much. And then to see him just make Forrest look like a beginner, that was just incredible. And it just tells you again how good Anderson truly is. I can see why, a lot of people would say he's pound for pound the best and maybe put him above Fedor. So, I mean, I wonder who's left for him. Apparently, they mentioned Machida, and he's wants no part of Machida, so that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, I felt bad for Florian losing. It seemed like he just kept going for the takedown, and that's where he was struggling. But when he had him in the clinch by the cage, he seemed to have some control there. Penn looked alright. I mean, he didn't over exhaust himself, which he can do sometimes. Yeah, and burn himself out. He showed a lot of pace and control in his fight, and he looked sharp. Uh, Florian took some serious shots, and I've seen those shots take out great fighters like Sherk, and Florian just stayed standing. It's when the fight went to the ground I just thought, oh no, this fight could be over, and well, it was in the end, which is a shame. Well, it looks like we're going to get BJ Penn, Diego Sanchez, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Uh, I really hope Diego does that. Yes! Yes! On the way to the fight, because that would just be hilarious. Just a little thing I want to see, but that'll be an interesting fight. And Diego is actually a lot bigger than BJ Penn, and it really cuts from 185. BJ is really naturally 155. I think Diego could pose some serious problems there. And I think Florian, he's going to learn from this fight. I think this reminds me of when St. Pierre fought Hughes the first time and he didn't win. I think it could do what it did for St. Pierre for Florian, if that makes sense. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling at this point. Just let me know what you think and about the Fedor thing or anything. Just hit me up. Video responses, text replies, and well, I'm gonna post my wrestling video up next. So, okay, take care, guys.